And this is my new YouTube channel, Just Let Me Sew. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. I'm hoping to put on some videos about things I've been making, plans I've got, maybe any fabric or patterns that I've bought, that sort of thing. So today I thought I would talk to you about a couple of recent makes, something that I am working on at the moment and something I'm planning to make in the near future. So the first two things that I have made recently, first up was a blouse. It's this NewLook pattern. It is N607. It's quite like the Nina Lee Bakerloo blouse with this big frilly collar. Apart from the main difference, I think, from what I can tell, is that this blouse is quite cropped, and I think it actually comes up quite a bit shorter than it does on this model for me. I'm not quite sure why. It must be a fitting issue, I suppose, but I love the blouse. Unfortunately, the finished garment is just too short for me to wear. It is really quite cropped, and I'm personally not comfortable with that length of blouse, so I'm not sure how much wear I'm going to get out of it. I can wear it with high-waisted jeans, like my Persephone pants by Anna Allen. I can wear it with those, or with overalls, so it's underneath, or dungarees, that sort of thing. Another thing I would say with this pattern is check the fit around the armhole before you make it. So do some measuring there, because it tends to be the case for me with the big four patterns. They are quite tight around the arms. So I make an adjustment that I heard from Kath at Made by Cathcraft, I think it is. By Cathcraft, I think. Where you, on the bodice piece, you lower the arm side by about 1 centimetre. And then on the sleeve pattern, you widen it by the same at the top. By the sleeve cap, you would widen it by 1 centimetre as well. And that just gives you a little bit more wiggle room. Again, I forgot to do that with this one. So what I did is I ended up just clipping around the armhole sleeve, the seam rather, just to give me a little bit more wiggle room. It's not too bad. I can wear it, it's fine. But I forgot to do that. I also noticed the length of the blouse on the packet and thought to myself, I'll lengthen that. But then I forgot to do it when I was cutting out the pieces, which is quite annoying. But here it is. So it's made up in this lovely lilac polycotton that I got from Rainbow Fabrics about a year ago. It was good value, decent fabric. Yeah, nice fabric, and I love this collar. So pretty. All those lovely little frills all the way around it. Really, really pretty. Love that detail. So I would like to make it again. I think I probably will, maybe in a white cotton this time, and obviously lengthen it by a good few inches for sure to make sure it's comfortable. These lovely little buttons that I got from Tooting Market quite a while ago. Don't know if you can see, they've got these little speckles in them, like shimmery speckles, very pretty. And then one of my labels, I had this label made up. Can't remember where I ordered them from. They say finished at last, something like Wonder Label, something like that, I think, where you can put in your design. You can even upload an image and put it onto a label if you want to. It's not too expensive, and you can get quite a few for your money. And then the sleeves are finished with this gathering into a sleeve band. So quite a bit of gathering on this with the frill around the collar and also on the sleeve band there. So yeah, lovely pattern. Just needs lengthening for me. Wonder if you've made this blouse yourself and if you also found the length to be quite short. I don't know if I've got a long torso, but it definitely seems much shorter than even on the packet. The packet to me said that's short, and then when I made it up it was even shorter than I'd anticipated. So be interested to hear if you had similar issues if you've made it. Anyway, that's that. The second thing I made up was this McCall's sweater, and this is M8240. Looking on Instagram, this does not seem to be a popular pattern at all. I couldn't find many versions of this made up, but it's a really nice pattern. So you've got two versions. There's either one with sleeve bands and a hemband, or one without. The button placket, and then a collar. The collar doesn't have a stand, it's just sewn straight onto the sweater. For me, the placket was a little bit too low, so I raised that by a couple of inches. And I also got very confused by their instructions on how to attach the collar. I couldn't figure it out. The instructions seemed to sort of jump. In one illustration it was showing the upper collar, and then the next one it was showing the under collar, and I got very confused. I did obviously work it out. I'm not sure I did it the way I was meant to, but it has a collar on it and it looks okay. So here is the finished sweater, and I use this lovely fabric from Higgs and Higgs. It's a navy animal print, quite a good medium weight cotton jersey. Not thick, so not warm enough probably for winter to be a jumper on its own, but perfect for autumn. Really nice. Yeah, I got this quite a few years ago. I don't think they would still have it in stock. I don't know, I haven't looked recently, but it was quite a few years ago that I bought it, and it's one of those fabrics that I had sitting in my stash as one of my special fabrics that I really didn't want to cut into in case I messed it up. And then I realised I wanted to make this sweater, so I cut it out about a year ago. Cut out the pattern, the fabric, put it in one of my project wallets, and then we had to pack everything up to renovate our house. And when it came to unpacking, I couldn't find it anywhere, and I really wanted to make it because it's a really good sweater for autumn. I couldn't find it anywhere, searched high and low, and then randomly last week I was rummaging through some boxes and I found it. So I made it up straight away. That's really nice, very pleased with that. Placket again could be a little bit fiddly. I did have to take my time with doing that, and all of this collar on the inside I have hand stitched that in because yeah, I didn't really want anything possibly showing, even though it'd be hidden. I just thought hand stitching would be a bit neater. So that's that one. And then what I am working on at the moment is the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra dress. So I've never made this dress up before. I know it's been around for quite a long time. I don't know why I haven't got around to making it, because it's a really lovely dress and I've seen some beautiful versions out there on Instagram. Perhaps it's all the gathering. I'm really not a fan of doing all those gathers. But anyway, I really wanted to make it, so I ordered the pattern, and then I had some fabric through from Rainbow Fabrics, which unfortunately arrived with quite a few faults running right through the middle of the fabric. So I contacted them and they were great. They sent out replacement. As it turned out, the dress needed more fabric than I thought it did, so I ended up using the faulty fabric as well. I thought I dodged all of the faults when I was cutting out, but it turns out I didn't. And I have got one of the faults on the back piece, which is a bit annoying. I don't know if anyone would ever be able to spot it, or maybe I could just get a Sharpie out and colour in the fault, because there's sort of these big white lines that run through it. In addition to that, I will just bring the dress over to show you. Here's the fabric. It's this really pretty pattern, pink with red flowers in a viscose marrocaine. I think that's how you say it, marrocaine. But it is such a difficult fabric to sew with. I use my walking foot, but I probably should have starched it as well because it slips around so much. I think when I was cutting out the fabric as well, I must have moved it because some of the pattern pieces just don't match up to where they should be. So I've had a few issues now that it's nearly finished with it just not hanging as it should, and I think that's because I didn't cut it out quite right. But I'm nearly finished, nearly done. Just got to let it hang so it drops, and then I can hem it, and then I'm gonna just attach the buttons and do the sleeves. So I've gone for the long sleeve option, so I'll just put some elastic in those and then that's done. So that's what I've been working on at the moment. Bit of a frustrating make, one of those ones where you're borderline just want to throw it out the window, but you've invested so much time in it that I've got to keep going. So we'll see. It's also quite a delicate fabric, so I don't know how much wear I will get out of it. It does snag quite easily and these white threads run through it. So quite delicate, very slippery. If you've got this fabric from Rainbow Fabrics, I'd love to know if you've sewn anything with it yet and how you found it. Did it slip around for you as well, or was it okay? Is it just me? Share any tips you might have for it as well. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. And then my plan in the next few weeks is to get started on this. And this is the Nova Coat by Papercut Patterns. I've had this for about a year and I just haven't got round to sewing it up. I want to make the long version with these long sleeves. I've heard mixed reviews about the sizing on it. Some people saying it's really oversized and they had to take really big chunks out of the side and along the sleeves as well. So if you have made it up, I'd love to know what your experience was of making it. Someone also mentioned on Pattern Review, I think it was, that they made a mistake with one of the pattern pieces. So if you've had that experience, please do share any tips as well so I can dodge that. First of all, I'm going to make up a wearable toile just in case the sizing is really off. And I've got this lovely fabric, which I will show you. I bought this from Metre. I got this 2-3 years ago. Sorry, they don't have it in stock anymore, I'm afraid. I have looked and they haven't got it. It's probably a polyester, very soft, fluffy animal print. Got about 3 meters of it, so that should be plenty to play around with. It is really fluffy though, so it's going to make a real mess when I'm sewing it up, and I'm not quite sure how my overlocker is going to get through it. I've got Janome overlocker, which is usually all right, but sometimes when you have to go through a few layers of thick fabric, it does judder quite a lot. So if you've got any tips for sewing with the thicker coating fabrics, that would be great, because I haven't made a coat before. Also, if you would recommend getting a wooden clapper to really try and flatten those seams. This is a polyester, so I'm not sure it's even going to do much of what it's told, really. Yeah, we'll see. Might not be too bad. And then I'm just going to line it with a black Cupro fabric. Cupro? That I bought from Rainbow Fabrics last year as well. So that is what I'm planning on making in the next few weeks. Again, if you've got any tips for the Nova Coat, please do share. I would love to hear them. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is on Friday coming, the 6th of October, I think it is, I'm going to the Knitting and Stitching Show in Alexandra Palace in North London. I will be going by myself for the first time going by myself. I've been to the South London one before with friends and had a great time. It's really nice. I am, fingers crossed, not going to buy any fabric. I have got plenty of fabric. I've just tried to do a big de-stash of some of my fabrics and I just don't need any more. I don't know if you can see behind me, that's my cupboard with my fabrics in it. I've also got a basket just behind the camera which is full of fabrics as well. Nice big basket, so I've got plenty to be working my way through. I just don't need any more fabrics. I don't know about you, but when I have too many fabrics I start to feel a little bit twitchy, that a bit sort of agitated, that I've got so much I'm never going to get through it all, I'm never going to make it all up, and that sort of makes me feel a little bit unsettled by it. I don't like it too much, so I need to start working through my fabric stash as well. So if you are going to the Knitting and Stitching Show on Friday next week, I'd love to hear from you. It'd be nice to know who else is going to be going. I've seen lots of stalls, fabric shops that are going to be going. It looks like it's going to be really good fun. I would love to buy maybe a new pattern Also on the lookout for some lovely labels to go in my garments. Perhaps a nice pair of scissors as well. My little embroidery scissors are getting a little bit dull, and I have tried sharpening them quite a few times. I think it's probably time to get a new pair. So that is that. Thank you so much if you've stuck with me to the end of this rambling video. I hope I've made sense. If I've left anything out of this video that you would be interested to hear about, any of the makes that I've shown you, just drop a comment down below and I will do my best to answer that for you. If you would consider subscribing to my channel, I would love that. I am going to hopefully release a weekly or fortnightly video just with my sewing makes and what I've been up to, sewing related. So please do subscribe, and if you could also hit the thumbs up button, that would be wonderful, so that my video gets pushed out to more people. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.